and welcome to, I don't even know what episode we're on. It's New Year. It's been a while since podcast, so I'm not actually sure what episode we're on. I think it might be episode 6. I'm not completely sure. But anyways, welcome to Lowlander Yarn Studio. I am your host, Jackie from Lowlander. And you'll notice right off the bat, I said welcome to Lowlander Yarn Studio. That's because our podcasts have previously been known as Dyer's Journal podcast, and we decided just to change it just to Lowlander Yarn Studio because that's what we're at. That's who we are. So that's how I will be introducing myself from now on. I am Jackie from Lowlander Yarn Studio. I was hoping to get on there before now. This is going to be a super quick podcast, and I'll explain to you here in a minute why that is, and why I don't have a script, and why there's not going to be a whole lot of content. So I haven't spoke to you guys since Christmas, since we did our Vlogmas, which I must say was a huge lot of fun and just a busy time of the year for me. And then I took my break and came back on board a few weeks ago. So, but since then, for all of you that know my mum's been kind of sick since Christmas, partly to do with her cancer. She went through treatment for cancer last year, and she's just not bouncing back like we would have hoped she would have bounced back. So she's been kind of poorly on and off for the past couple of months. So all that to say, when I was taking my break from Lowlander, she took really sick at Christmas and she ended up in the hospital. So all that to say, when I took my break for a month, where, I just slowed things down, I was reflecting on some things and everything else, and I couldn't settle because I knew she'd been sick on and off. So myself and my partner Michael, who talked about it, just decided that it was time for me to go over for a few weeks. So I decided to go over for a few weeks. I leave on Saturday. So obviously, as you can appreciate, once I decided that, I had some things I had to take care of to get there. I also have a day job, so I had to concentrate on that. And I had a pattern release this past month that I had to concentrate on that. I'm going to show you in a minute. So yeah, it's been super busy just trying to prepare for a last minute trip. And you may notice that the sound quality on this video is probably not going to be as good as the other ones, only because I packed my mic because I'm planning to podcast when I'm in Scotland. So anyways, I'm doing this without a mic, so hopefully the sound is okay. So yes, it was a last minute decision. I'm glad I made it. So yes, I leave on Saturday. I am gone for 3 weeks. So that's one reason why I haven't uploaded any of our new yarns yet, because if I would have uploaded them, I wouldn't have been here to dye them or to mail them. So I just really concentrated on the one thing that I almost had ready, that I had been working on over Christmas, and that was our Wild Thistle cowl, which is a kit, and we just released it about a week and a half ago, and we only released so many because I didn't want to get inundated before I left, because I wanted to make sure everybody got their orders. So, and I'm happy to say, in the small amount that we released, we did sell out. So for anyone who's watching, who managed to nab one, your kit is on its way, and it should be arriving here shortly. So anyway, so that's kind of what I've been up to the past few weeks, just preparing for that and everything else. And I had planned to sit down and do a whole proper podcast on what was coming up and everything else, and time just got away. But I wanted to make sure and get on here and to let you guys know what was going on and why you weren't seeing much of anything go up on the website. So that's the reason. Sometimes in life, finding a balance between work and life and everything else, especially when you're self-employed, is kind of difficult. But the other end of that is, when you do have to make decisions to do something, for me to go home, it is a lot easier to make when you're self-employed, because you can be flexible or work your schedule and stuff like that. So there's, you know, positives and negatives and everything. But at the end of the day, my mum is an important, an integral part of my life. And for that reason, yarn can wait to be dyed. Because, you know, spending time with her right now is most important. So, plus I get to go home, which is really cool. So, and I get to take my Jackie vest. As you can see, that was one of the projects I was working on the last time I podcast. It is all finished, blocked, and ready to be packed away. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. And I was very happy with how it turned out. I love the neck on it. The short row neck. I just love it. I love how it worked out. I love the color of the yarn. It's my color because green is my favorite color. And yes, oh, I think I might have touched her boob. So, excuse me, this is not supposed to be an X-rated podcast. But anyways, yes, it probably it probably looks better in her than what it does in me because I don't have any boobs. So I don't know. I don't know how we got onto this conversation, but anyways, this is it all finished. Yes, I love it. And I'm thinking about doing one in a solid color because yeah, this is kind of like a mottled color because that's the way I wanted it. But I'm thinking too a really nice solid color. So that was the main thing I was working on. The other thing I was working on was our thistle cowl for the release of our grab and go kit. We have released a line, or we will be throughout the year releasing a line of what we are calling our grab and go kits. These are going to be kits where the patterns are mine that I have designed. Well, I mean design is a loose word because I'm not a knitwear designer by any means, but just simple patterns that I've created. And the kits will have everything you need in them to just literally grab and go. So the first one we released is the Wild Thistle Cowl, and I have it right here. So it literally is a kit in a bag. You get everything you need to make this project, and that's why we called it the grab and go kit, because it was important to me, because sometimes as knitters, like when we're traveling or different things and we want to get together a project and we all can relate to this and we think, okay, I think I'll do this, and then we're hunting for the right needle size, and then we got to remember to do this, then we got to print out the pattern, and then we got to find the yarns and everything else. So I thought, what would be better than an actual grab and go kit where you can just grab it and literally go. You need nothing else but a pair of scissors. That was the only thing we didn't put in it. So yeah, so this is our Wild Thistle cowl. And I shall open it so you guys can see everything that you get in it. So most importantly, you get the pattern, which is right here. You can see it, if you can see it. It's also on our Instagram. Now, we don't have any up on the website right now because they're all sold out. So if you go on there, they will say sold out. But when I get back, we'll be releasing more. And I'm actually working it up in another colour right now, which I'll show you in a minute. But right now it's in our Moorland and our Heather Bloom yarns. This being our Moorland, this being our Heather Bloom. It's just a little simple mock cable cowl. No cable needle involved. So you guys will be happy to know that. And it's just a simple pattern, and it's like a double-sided right here. It goes to the back. So yeah, and it's a really easy, quick knit. I designed it in a worsted weight yarn, so it knits up really quickly. It's knitting around, which is really nice, so there's no seaming. The only work involved when you're finished is weaving in your ends. So it comes with the pattern, and you get a printed pattern, but you also get a PDF pattern that's emailed to you too. So, and this is just the invoice for whoever this belongs to. And most importantly, we get the yarn. As you can see, this is our Heather Bloom, which is slightly mottled just to give kind of an interesting effect, just like and the jockey vest. So this is our heather bloom, which is very delicious. And this is our moorland, which is a green, but it's a green that has kind of like a sandy dewy effect to it. As you can see, it just picks up the light and other colors around it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So you skein each of that, and it's 100 grams each, even though that is way more than what you actually need for the project. But I thought, well, you guys can have a little extra to do something else with. So you get 2 skeins of that. So you get the pattern, you get 2 skeins of yarn, and then you get your little, and all our yarns come with a little lavender sash just to keep the yarns fresh. And then you get your goodie bag that you can pop it all in, which is, so far we have the pattern, so far we have the yarn. And then you get a little project bag that says, I don't know if you guys can see that, it says wild thistle, and it's just a little drawstring bag just to pop your project in. So you get that. And let me see what else you get. Of course you need a needle. So every kit will include a size 7 needle, because that's the needle that is specified on the pattern. So size 7 circular 24-inch needle, little clover needle. And then in this little baggie, you will get, if I can get everything out of it, you get your little stitch markers. So you get a stitch marker that you can use to mark the beginning of your round, and then you also get a little progress keeper for those who like to pop it on the front of their work just to see how much they've kind of knit up, just for encouragement's sake. That's really the only reason I could see you would need a progress keeper. So you get 2 of those, and then you get a darning needle to weave in those ends. And then I included in each kit a little handmade, especially for you card, if you decide to give it as a gift, and then you can write all the specifications on the back for whoever's receiving it. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that is everything you will need to grab and go for your project. And the only thing you guys will need to remember and take with you is a pair of scissors. And of course, it wouldn't be the same without a little tea bag, and a little sweet treat. So that's everything you get in the grab and go kits. If you like what you are seeing, once I get back from Scotland and I get them uploaded on our website, I will put it on our social media things for you guys to order. So, but yes, I'm happy to announce that we completely sold out when we released it, which brings me to one I'm knitting right now. Well, let me show you the finished one first. This is the original one. Let me make sure I got it the right way, right? This is the original one, as you can see. And this is what it looks like when it's knit up. Just a simple cowl. It's got a good stretch to it, so one size fits all. Yeah, just a simple cowl. And this one is the yarn that we just included in our last kit. Right now we only have one color available, and that is our Moorland and our Heather Bloom set. So that's what will have been in these previous kits, but I am knitting up another one in a different colour, which will also be released when I get back from Scotland. So now there'll be 2 colour choices. This one is in our Heather Bloom and in our Flower of Scotland speckled yarn. If you can remember, last year I released a curated set, which was 3 yarns in one set. It was our Heather Bloom, our Moorland, and our Flower of Scotland, which was speckled. And it was a really great set and very, very popular. So I decided, since I already had some of our Flower of Scotland dyed, that I was going to knit up another cowl, and that will be going on my travels with me. So yeah, that's that. So I showed you that, and I showed you that. The other only thing in busy news that I want to touch base on is one of the bags that we are introducing to Lowlander when I get back. This one is going to Kaz from the Wee Sew and Sew from Lorena of L&B Bags, who makes bags for Lowlander. For one of our giveaways. She does not know it yet, so Kaz, if you're watching, this bag is coming your way. But one of my favorite things, and I have a bag that says it on it, is one of my favorite sayings is, I say it all the time, I bloody love knitting, because I do bloody love knitting. So my friend Lorena put it on a bag for me, and I thought, why not? Can we not sell bags with I bloody love knitting on them? So Lorena designed, of course, because we are Scottish, this tartan bag, which will be coming to the shop when I get back in different colours and tartan. And it says, I bloody love knitting. And you can see, Lorena is awesome at making bags. She puts so much attention to detail. And she's a knitter herself, so she really, really thinks of the end product and the end consumer with her being a knitter and what she likes in a project bag. And this new project bag she's made is an all-inclusive project bag. You don't need a separate notion bag or anything like that because she's thought of it all. She is amazing. So firstly, it's a 12-inch bag. It has a cute little wool tassel. It's her signature wool tassels that she puts on it. So she has a little key ring here to help pull your zip open and closed. You can put whatever you want in it. We're thinking about adding a little thistle to the top. So firstly, she has a main pocket for your project. As you can see, you can put your project in there. It's all fully lined, and she only uses the best quality fabric, and she does all the embroidery by herself. So her bags used to only come like this. Had your main pocket. You put everything in it, and you just went and done. Lorena's like, no, I need some more stuff in it. So she added a notion pocket to the bag that zips, which you can keep all your notions in for that project. Scissors, needles, spare yarn, whatever you want to keep in it. I love that feature. And it zips so everything stays contained. So far that's almost 2 bags in one. So you get your main pocket. You got your zip pocket for your notions, and then she added a front pocket for if you wanted to keep your pattern in there or any goodies that wouldn't fall out that you can put in there. She also added a strap so that you could use it as a wristlet when closed, of course. So yeah, these will be coming to the shop when I get back. But for now, this one is going across the pond all the way to Kaz at the Wee Sew and Sew for a giveaway. So yeah, that's kind of fun and interesting. So yes, that's about it. And I know I'm rushing you guys, rushing myself, because I literally leave in 2 days and I have still quite a bit to do. So yes, what am I going to be doing when I go to Scotland? Well, one of my mottos for my business this year, which I mentioned a little bit on a post that I did a couple of weeks ago, is during my month off and during spending time with my good friend Lorena, we both talked a lot about being intentional in life, in relationships, in living, in work, in business, and in whatever we're passionate about. I really got thinking about it during Christmas, and it was one of the reasons that led me to make the decision to go to Scotland so hastily. As living a life where we're intentional about stuff. What is being intentional? Well, I suppose being intentional is different to different people, but being intentional to me is exactly what it says. Is just it's not about making life changing decisions or like long changing decisions. It's about in the moment and being intentional of what we do with our time and our talents and our money, and you know what we do, what we eat, with the end goal of having a more, firstly, harmonious life, finding more joy in the things that we do. Because if you come at it with being intentional, um, then you're having to think a little bit more about it. So during the month I had off, in terms of when I was making, gifts for everybody, I had a plan. And my intention was not to buy anything, to make anything, that I wanted to use what I had, and I wanted to make things that I knew I would enjoy. I wanted to make things that I knew others enjoyed. So I was very intentional about picking my projects based on those things. And it probably was the best Christmas making season I had so far in my life, because it really was a joy and an accomplishment to know that firstly I stuck to a plan because I was very intentional about it, and thought of the person rather than other things, and just thought of, what things I could use to make these things, from stuff that I had. So I was very intentional in planning it. So during my month off, when I was thinking about taking Lowlander forward in 2020, I wanted to think more intentionally about stuff. You know, and when I think about stuff and come up with an idea, starting out and seeing it through, the Wild Thistle Kill was completed because I was very intentional to complete it. So yeah, being intentional is about just looking at those things in everyday life that, we may look at and may think, we need this, we need that, we need to do this, we need to do that, whatever. It's about just really thinking about it. And sometimes when we stop and we think intentionally, often enough we make different decisions than what we were going to make when we set out. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to explore a life of being intentional, as a person, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a friend, and as a businesswoman. So yeah, you're going to hear a lot of that over this next year as I go on this journey to be intentional, to live intentional, and to knit intentionally. So one of the goals I made for myself in thinking about being intentional, which is very difficult to do for me, but it's also very difficult to do when you run a hand-dyed knitwear business, is to, when I start a project, complete it. To not be bouncing from here, there, and everywhere and thinking I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done. It's about slowing down, really thinking it intentionally about that project and going, okay, I have started this, I am going to see it through to completion, and be very intentional about it, and focused. So yeah, that's one of the goals I set for myself. And my friend Lorena, which I have now started, and I'm throwing it out there because I would really like to do a cal over the next year for this purpose. And I was going to talk more about it in this podcast, but I don't have time, so it'll be in the next podcast. But my friend Lorena, when thinking about living intentionally in terms of being a knitter, she decided to knit intentionally over the next years, to pick a project, to firstly see what she has on hand for that project, and hopefully find something she has on hand for that project, and to knit it to completion. And she started an intentional gift giving box. So over the next year, she's going to be knitting intentionally, with projects in mind, very focused, and hopefully with materials that she has at hand. And every time she completes something, she puts it into her box. So at the end of the year, or throughout the year, when she needs a gift or someone has a need, she can go into her box and she can pick from it. And I was over the other day, and her little box is growing. So I now have started on that thought process. So I'm going to be getting a box, and I'm going to be knitting intentionally. So most things I knit in my business this year will also be for gifts throughout the year for others. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. So all that to say, I want to kind of do a call about that and knit along where we can all knit along intentionally. And maybe we can all start our own intentional box this year where we think of a person, think of a project, see what we have, and just really think intentionally about it. So anyway, just pause for thought. I didn't want to roll on about it before I had anything down on paper or on script, but just give it a thought, and we'll talk about it more next time. So, but all that to say, because when Scottish people tend to do that, they start out saying one thing and then they go off on another thing. But I started off telling you that because I was going to tell you what I was going to be doing in Scotland. Yes, I've thought very intentionally about what I am going to be doing in Scotland. Obviously, I've taken 3 weeks off of yarn dyeing right at the beginning of my season. So that, yeah, it's made me a little kind of like nervous. So I thought, well, if I cannot dye yarn, then what can I do that I can still accomplish things for the business, as well as spending time with mum, as well as intentionally planning to do things with my mum, because my mum loves creating stuff and she loves to be part of it. So most of you know I make my own, a lot of my own bags. Lorena's the big bag designer. She makes the big fancy ones, but I make basic ones. And I also make a series of stitch markers for anybody that's bought from me. Every stitch marker you get in your parcels is handmade by moi. So I thought I would take over supplies so that me and my mum could work on some things like that while she's not feeling good. Things that don't take a lot of energy but are still fun and she feels included. And I was very intentional about, firstly, what I took. Secondly, the reasons I was taking it for mum and for business. And very intentional about not buying anything to take with me, purely pulling from my own supplies of fabrics and jewelry stuff or whatever. And it felt good because normally I would get something in my head and be like, okay, I gotta go to Hobby Lobby, I gotta go to the fabric store. No, I went through my stash and I was very intentional and I only bought what I did not have. And it's amazing what you actually find when you look through your supplies that you didn't know you had. So yeah, that felt good. So I have a suitcase full of things to take over. One of the new things I'm going to be trying, because my mum wanted to do it, is some Fimo clay, I think it's called. We are going to be making some stitch markers. We will see how that goes. We will see if we're that creative or if they look great or they look absolutely awful. I'm not really sure yet. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be doing when I'm over there. It's just spending time with mum, just relaxing, keeping her in so she gets better, because the more she's out, the more things she catches because her immune system's down. So basically I have a suitcase that is going to keep my mum preoccupied for 3 weeks, and at the same time intentionally thought of create some things for my website ready to go on it when I get back. So that is that. One of the other things we've arranged, if my mum's feeling up to it, is we are getting together with a bunch of different creative people, and mostly in the podcast world, at Perth. My mum has arranged it, and her friend Carol. So yeah, we are going to be getting together with Kelp Peanuts, Wee Sheep Yarns, Sarah Oliver at the Wee Lass Who Knits. I don't know if Kaz from the Wee So and So is coming. I'm not really sure. And a few other people. So really excited about that. We're going to get together for a day of knitting and chatting and hopefully some podcasting. So, and I've spoke to most of these ladies online. We support each other, but most of them I have not even met. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, and then of course I'm flying out of Kansas City, so I get to see my son Ross and hang out with him. So yes, I said I was not going to make this long, and I realized I just literally just blathered a lot of rubbish, probably. So yeah, I don't know. But I have missed you guys. I hope you've missed me. And I know this podcast has been here, there, and everywhere, but hopefully you got the gist. I get back on the 29th of February, and I will be in the dye studio full time for the first week back, because there are a lot of new colorways on the list of colors to dye. So yeah, I'll be a busy bee when I get back. So yeah. So I hope this video podcast finds you all well. If anybody's watching that's going to be seeing me in Scotland, I'll see you next week. And to all those wee podcasters out there that I'm meeting in Perth, I cannot wait to meet you. Yeah, kind of excited about that. And yes, so until we meet again, I will be podcasting on and off when I'm in Scotland. Unfortunately, I cannot edit when I'm in Scotland, so it will need to wait until I get back. But it will be a super cool podcast, hopefully, because I'll be podcasting with different people throughout my journey in the next 3 weeks, so that'll be fun. Maybe I'll interview some people, maybe that would be fun. I don't know yet, I haven't really planned it, so, but all my podcast stuff is in my suitcase. So yes, I will see you guys all in about a month, and until then, have a great month, happy knitting, happy crocheting, and ta-ta for now.